From a hung jury to an acquittal of a second-degree murder, Karen Reed is finally set free. Just for the viewers, I only know this much because my sister and my wife are completely obsessed with this matter, but thank God for her. The craziness of a small-town judge in Massachusetts and how they could potentially, or maybe there's a conspiracy involving protecting local police officers. It gets a little crazy. There was an 8-week trial, and you know what? She's finally set free, but not before the judge gets her pound of flesh and hits her with a DUI on the way out.
DUI for 1 year probation, but better than sitting in jail for a lifetime or for many years, right?
Well, the crazy thing is that if you get into a car accident and you kill somebody while you're drunk, typically this is a manslaughter charge. How this judge decided, or how these prosecutors decided to go for a second-degree murder, is up for debate. Like I said, I think there's a lot of police officers involved here. Obviously, the deceased was a police officer. The evidence is pretty clear. It shows that he was either beaten or bitten by a dog. There was swelling on the, cuts and bruises on the back of his head. No indication that his girlfriend, wife, whoever Karen Reed was to her, committed this murder. So I'm happy to see her set free.
Yeah, Karen Reed was the girlfriend, but I think we saw this already. There was a movie made about this, guys. It was called The Departed. If you've ever seen it, it's, but it's funny how all these major happenings always happen in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah,
here we're in Boston.
Yeah.
A few hundred years ago, we're in Salem, Massachusetts, with the witches. So they have a lot of things going on there. But more or less, I mean, it's interesting that the justice system shows its face at the end of the day, that everybody has rights and everybody has a defense out there for whatever the charges may be. And remember, charges are allegations. The state has to prove those charges, and here the state could not prove those charges.
Yeah, but let's be clear. I mean, there was a judge on this bench, and I'm not saying she was corrupt, but the belief that she was corrupt plays a big part in this matter, because the reality of it is the judge was supposed to retire. There was a hung jury the first time, and why was there a hung jury? From what I know and the information I reviewed is that the jury slip, which is their directive, is that it informs the jury and the jury foreman how to, essentially make their decision on the matter, had a whole list of different murder charges and different manslaughter charges from the most severe to the least severe. But there was never a box to be checked off that said not guilty. So you have the jury foreman who just put out a news article that says, I'm confused and we need further clarification. And thank God for Karen Reed's defense attorney. It says, hello, the jury slip form is incorrect. We need a not guilty box, because we know in order to find someone guilty of murder, you need a unanimous guilty verdict, right? Everybody has to vote guilty. If there's one box checked that says not guilty, well then the victim walks free. So in this situation, they finally got it right. But definitely a slight bit of corruption.
Oh, the defendant walks free. Just make
sure.
Yeah,
the victim is deceased.
The victim's deceased.
Well, she was kind of a victim in this situation as well. I mean, 2 years of trial, a hung jury, and then a second degree
Think about the
accusation.
legal costs that she can't go and probably recoup against that either, right?
Well, funny thing is that there was a GoFundMe page where all of the local community who thought that she was innocent, believed she was innocent, raised enough money to pay the attorneys and pay the expert witnesses, which thank God they did. Otherwise, this woman could potentially be in jail for the rest of her life.
That was very nice of them to do so.
Again, the community came together. It takes a village. Usually it takes a village to raise kids, but in this case...
But traditionally in a criminal case, there's no, hey, you win, the state's going to reimburse you for putting up money, because you have a right to be represented by a public defender. You don't have to have private counsel. No, obviously, people may have their opinions on whether they believe private counsel is better than having a public defender, but at the end of the day...
Listen, she had a well-oiled machine. They fought for her. They had experts going up there to disprove whatever the prosecution's allegations were. And like I said, thank God they did, because all you have to do is throw in a little bit of reasonable doubt there. Hey, it could have been somebody else. It could have been one of the many Boston cops who essentially are tied into this whole situation. And, just funny enough how the local judge, who's friends with all these police officers, stuck around for one last trial. So, I'm not saying there's corruption out there, but it seems like there was some...
Smells a little bit.
Yeah, it smells a little, yeah. I don't want to say you step in it, it smells like it is it. But, that's...
I mean, the defense stated that they felt that the case changed tide and that they were going to prevail when they saw that the credibility of the prosecutor that was trying the case had no credibility in front of the jury. Just they would try and throw the kitchen sink at the wall. and see what sticks. And the problem is you can't try a case like that.
No. So anyway, let us know. Did she do it? Did she not do it? We got a not guilty verdict. Let us know what you feel about Karen Reed's.
Did we read into it well or not? Leave your like, comment.
No pun intended.
Like, comment, and share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear from you.